So hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us, and welcome to Command Your Digestive Tract to Heal. My name is Cassandra Paolini, for those who don't know me, and thank you so much for being here. I want you to know that you're very appreciated. So please feel free to use the chat thread at will, and whenever we take a pause, especially afterward to take questions, or right now in the opening, you may feel free to open up your mic to talk. Now, as we go through this, the digestive tract itself, as we go through it, the mouth, the pharynx, the esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, rectum, anus, but the digestive system, which will then include the organs such as liver, pancreas, gallbladder, even the appendix, salivary gland, so that's a gland, not an organ. And we want to include these accessory organs, especially the liver, because the liver is sort of like the brain of the stomach. It has such an important function. And now, remembering that it is your mind to make your thoughts real. And that becomes incredibly important when we are commanding our body. So as we begin, I just want everyone right now with me to say, I am worthy. I am worthy of being completely and perfectly healed. I am worthy and deserving of being completely healthy, having my entire digestive system and tract work perfectly, just as it is meant to. And in this, because I am so worthy and deserving, I heal myself. So, proper digestion, absorption, elimination, and excretion are all incredibly important. Those are the four functions of your digestive system. And in that process, it uses energy for cell repair. That is the healing of actual processes. When it comes to the brain's function, this becomes important. Commanding your brain to send neurons to the body. And with these neurons, we're doing that neuron signaling. We're using electrical and chemical signals to communicate, to release the neurotransmitters across the synapses. We're using the brainstem pathways, which go all the way through the body. And that's so important to understand, because in that same respect, while we are looking at that's an actual function of the body, that we have to realize that we can take control and command our brain. It's not just idea of the consciousness. This is literally commanding your brain in objectives to function. And it is amazing that, for example, when you're stretching and you go to stretch something as slowly as breathing into it will also help your muscles relax, oxygenating it, and to stretch even more so. But when you are also in your thought, I'm stretching and I want to move it farther, whether it's a split, whether it's an arm, and you'll just find as you're sending the brain and you're asking the brain and visualizing it to go back, all of a sudden, what you might have begun to begin with, all of a sudden now you're finding that you have more ability, more increased flexibility in a matter of, can be moments, in a matter of minutes. And so if the power with that whole function can be visibly seen in something so seemingly simple, understand that that same function can be seen and done, although it might take a little more time, on the interior of your body and system. So when we come into this and we're commanding, you can do this in a meditative state, which we're going to want to get ourselves into, because we set different brain waves when we do that. And this type of healing practice is even more effective if you choose to do it during a time when you want to get into whether it's an alpha state, like in meditation, and to go through that practice. We'd also encourage you along with us to command out loud. Now we're going to command, and then we're going to command forcefully. And the reason for that is because we're instructing. In the same way that if you have troops and you need to command those troops to do something, leading them into their victory, leading your body into victory. Command with force, with dominance, with control, taking charge. And this way your brain doesn't have any mistake at all who's in charge and what it's doing. It's not like, I'm just going to think this mentally and let it go through my body and my systems. No, I command. And be like that. I command. Do it with affirmation. Do it with affirmity. Do it with force. Do it with confidence. And always do it with love. Do it with a belief in yourself. So in this type of practice, doing a one-off might get you feeling better in just the one time. But this is the type of practice where it's way more effective if you choose to do it often, like daily, maybe 3 times a day during the process that you want for that healing. And from my personal experience, I've seen miracles happen within myself in 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, depending on what it was I was actually instructing myself to heal. So let that be your guiding force. Judge yourself. And then, in a good way, I mean, by observing yourself and seeing its progress. Now, we want to condition ourselves because when we command our body knows how to heal. And in actual fact, it's in often our indoctrination, our belief systems, our conditioning that prevent it from doing so. So now we're getting ourselves back on track to we're commanding to heal. We're working with our body's natural know-how and innate intelligence to heal. Our brain, which wants to send the neurons throughout and the signals through all the pathways to send healing into the body and repair. And now we are verbally, mentally, emotionally, and consciously getting on board with that same train for bodily healing. And this works in all areas, but today we're focusing on the digestive tract. And for those who don't know anything about the digestive tract, the whole idea of this is starting from not just those areas of the body we mentioned, which we'll be stating again and again and again, but understanding that we have the brain connection and the gut connection. So when we talk about the brain gut access, it's passing signals both ways via things like the vagus nerve, hormones, the gut microbiome, that's bacteria, fungus, viruses that live in the gut. And this becomes incredibly important to understand because the brain influences the gut, but the gut also influences the brain. And this goes in through it causing stress, anxiety, depression in your life, in addition to the digestive issues and bodily issues. So understanding that the body is run by a network of intelligence completely influenced by the mind and the brain. So when we drop into this network of intelligence, then we can influence the mind into influencing the body. So let us begin. As we begin with all things, you can choose to close your eyes. Start with some longer, deeper breaths. And of all things from the diaphragm, you want to expand, taking in as much oxygen as you can. And for your first breath, fill your lungs and your diaphragm, taking in as much air as you can. In through the nose, and as you breathe out, out to the mouth. You're just instructing yourself, I'm relaxing into this. And as you breathe in and out, long, slow breaths through the nose. And if you feel like you're still experiencing any tightness or tension, exhale through the mouth just a few more times. And on that, scan your body. Scan the head, the body. Scan the entire digestive tract, working from the mouth all the way down, right through its point of exit. Do you notice or know of any of the areas that you wish to focus on? Anywhere in the digestive tract? And remember that you're taking ownership now of your body as you breathe in and out. You're taking ownership of your organs. and you're here to heal. We're going to begin with the very simple one. So you could start with allowing our words to be your words as we speak in the first person. And then we encourage you strongly to repeat out loud. I direct, instruct, command, and compel my entire digestive tract and digestive system to heal. I direct, instruct, command, compel my entire digestive tract and system to heal. I direct, instruct, command, and compel my entire digestive tract and system to heal. I direct, instruct, command, compel my entire digestive system and tract to heal. Breathe in and out. I direct, instruct, command, and compel my entire digestive tract and system to heal perfectly and properly right now and for the rest of my life, and for my system and tract to go back to its original coding. I command my body to heal. I command my body to heal. I command my body to heal. I command my body to return to a perfect state of health. I command my body to return to its original divine perfection. I am healed. My digestive system is healed. And now I want you to see what that looks like to you. What does it feel like to you? Everything working perfectly, perfect function, perfect health. Remembering that everything, when we work through the entire system and its organs, when it functions beautifully, it balances the brain and the gut. Your health improves, mental clarity, mood. Brain, I command you to heal, restore, rejuvenate, regenerate my entire digestive tract and system. Brain, I command you to heal, restore, repair, rejuvenate, regenerate my entire digestive tract. The mouth, pharynx, esophagus, stomach, small intestines, large intestines, rectum, anus. And the digestive system, the liver, pancreas, gallbladder, appendix, salivary glands. I command my body to heal. I command my brain now to send all of the neurons, the neural signaling necessary to communicate, to release all the neurotransmitters across synapses, the pathways down into the body to begin healing now. I command my brain to send the neurons and messages necessary, communicate with the body through the neurotransmitters for my body to heal. Bring this into the cell now. communicate with every living cell in my body. I direct, instruct, command, compel, code, and condition my mouth, salivary glands, pharynx, esophagus, stomach, liver, pancreas, gallbladder, small intestine, large intestine, rectum, and anus to work perfectly and properly because I know it can. I direct, instruct, command, compel, and code my entire digestive tract and system to heal. My mouth, salivary glands, pharynx, esophagus, stomach, liver, pancreas, gallbladder, small intestine, large intestine, rectum, and anus to work perfectly and properly now and for the rest of my life. I direct, instruct, command, compel, condition, and code my mouth, salivary glands, pharynx, esophagus, stomach, liver, pancreas, gallbladder, small intestine, large intestine, rectum, anus to work perfectly and properly. I know it can. To heal perfectly and properly right now and for the rest of my life and go back to its original coding, its original divine perfection. I command my body to heal. I command my body to return to a perfect state of health. I command my body to return to its original divine perfection. I command my body, all areas and all parts, to be healed, to work perfectly and properly right now and for the rest of my life. Go back to its original coding. I am healed. I am healed. I am healed. Brain, I lovingly command you to send the neurons and signals, all the receptors necessary, be transmitted to heal, restore, repair, rejuvenate, regenerate my body, my entire digestive tract and system, mouth, salivary glands, pharynx, esophagus, stomach, liver, pancreas, gallbladder, small intestine, large intestine, rectum, anus. Brain, I lovingly command you to send the neurons and signals, all of the receptors necessary to heal, restore, repair, rejuvenate, and regenerate my entire digestive tract and system. The mouth, salivary glands, pharynx, esophagus, stomach, liver, pancreas, gallbladder, small intestine, large intestine, rectum, and anus. Brain, I command you to send all the neurons and signals necessary. Transmit them to heal, restore, repair, rejuvenate, regenerate my entire body, my entire digestive tract and system. From my mouth, the salivary glands, pharynx, esophagus, stomach, liver, pancreas, gallbladder, small intestine, large intestine, rectum, and anus. I command my stomach, liver, pancreas, gallbladder, small intestine, large intestine, rectum, anus to work perfectly and properly as I know it can. I instruct my stomach, small intestine, large intestine, rectum, anus to work perfectly and properly. I know it can. I instruct my liver, pancreas, gallbladder to work perfectly and properly. I know it can. I compel and code my stomach, small intestine, large intestine, liver, pancreas, gallbladder, rectum, and anus to work perfectly and properly. I know it can. I command, instruct, compel, and code my stomach, liver, pancreas, gallbladder, small intestine, large intestine, rectum, and anus to return to a perfect state of health. Go back to its original coding now and for the rest of my life. I command my body to heal. I command my digestive tract to heal. I command my organs and systems to heal now. I just want you to take a look at that. Perfectly happy and healthy liver, gallbladder. As you're working through, you think as you're coming through the mouth, going down the esophagus, you're working your way. That liver is functioning perfectly. The gallbladder is functioning perfectly. The pancreas is functioning perfectly. Your stomach is doing its job, working and processing as it sends everything through the small intestine. Appendix is functioning through the large intestine, through all parts of the colon, the rectum, and the anus, working its way perfectly and happily. Liver in a perfect state of health. I direct, instruct, command, and code my liver to heal, to return to a perfect state of health as I know it can, now and for the rest of my life. I command, instruct, compel, and code my stomach to return to a perfect state of health, now and for the rest of my life. I command, instruct, compel, and code my gallbladder to return to a perfect state of health, now and for the rest of my life. I direct, instruct, command, code, and compel my entire small intestine to work perfectly and properly, to return to a perfect state of health, now and for the rest of my life. I direct, instruct, command, code, and compel my entire large intestine to return to a perfect state of health, to work perfectly and properly as I know it can, now and for the rest of my life. I direct, instruct, command, code, and compel my entire colon to work perfectly and properly, to return to its original divine perfection, to a perfect state of health, and to be this way now and for the rest of my life. I direct, instruct, command, code, and impel my rectum to heal, to return to a perfect state of health, go back to its original coding now and for the rest of my life. I command my entire digestive tract to heal. I direct, instruct, command, and compel my entire digestive tract to return to its original coding, to go back to a perfect state of health, now and for the rest of my life. Brain, I lovingly command you to do this now. Breathing in and out with this. Seeing a perfectly healthy, vibrant system that works through, remembering the system as it works properly. Absorption is at its maximum, so nutrients are taken into the body and feed your cells for cellular repair. The process flows through as it runs through the entire system with ease, smoothly flowing through the entire system. All the organs are bright and vibrant and healthy. The process of elimination is smooth and easy and clear as we run all the way through until everything is excreted that needs to be, keeping what our body utilizes to feed you energy and for cellular repair. I am healed. My stomach is healed. My liver is healed. My pancreas is healed. My gallbladder is healed. My small intestine is healed. My large intestine is healed. My rectum and colon are healed. My anus is healed. My mouth and glands, esophagus and larynx are all healed. I am healed. Now and for the rest of my life, I return to my original divine coding. My original coding for a perfect state of health. The blueprint is in my body, and I command my brain now. As it heals the body, I am healed for it to work at its optimal health now and for the rest of my life. Brain, I ask you now, this conversation that we have with one another, I ask for you to continue doing this now, in this moment, and in every moment. Today, tomorrow, the day after, next week, next month. Continue the process of healing. I allow the process of healing. I am worthy and deserving of healing, to be healed, and to be in a perfect state of health, mind and body. As I command my brain to send all the neurons to the body, the neurosignaling. Let's use all the electrical and chemical signals necessary to communicate, to release the neurotransmitters across the synapses through every organ, into every cell. Allow the brain to send it through the brain stem, through the pathways of the body, influencing the body to spontaneously heal. Allow it to do what it naturally wants to do. Your body wants to heal. Let it activate all healing within you now. As you breathe, you're saying proper digestion, absorption, elimination, and excretion are mine. And I'm using this energy and you take all of this process. It goes into every cell of my body to repair it. I command my body to heal. I am healed. Just see what that's like. You can go deeper into this, into each organ, into the tissues, into the repair. Everything from if you have gallstones, for example, see gallstones disintegrating and eliminating. When you need to have a good flow in your system, see that flow coming through. Your body works properly in the process of elimination. See as you consume, that as it comes down and it works its way through the stomach, that the stomach absorbs all the nutrients from that so that that nutrients can feed your body with energy, feeding every cell to cellular repair. Allowing your liver now to relax, to cleanse, to heal, restore, repair. Remember, livers are so powerful that they can truly regenerate. And yet so many have failing livers. Why? I direct, instruct, command, and compel my body to heal. I allow my body's innate intelligence, its ability to heal, to do what it does naturally, to go back to its original coding, now and for the rest of my life. Just allow that to sink in, to settle in. See yourself healed. See your body and all of its systems working at optimum. See it now and see it for the rest of your life. And smile. We wish you, as always, health and happiness. And we thank each of you so much for having been here with us. Now, if anyone has any questions,